Greetings, my kings and queens, my brothers and sisters at the four corners of the earth, whether you're in a remote place like the Vatican or an island that is not on the map, all the way to Africa, to the Americas, in the Caribbean, in India, in Asia, in Europe, in the Arab, Middle Eastern nation, regardless of where you are on this beautiful earth within this universe. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all. And while this greeting is primarily for those that I share DNA with, ancestral DNA that is older than time, I also welcome the lower level races as well. So whether you be a Euro-Asian, a Euro-Arab, a Euro-Indian, a Euro-Polynesian, Euro-Canadian, Euro-American, Euro-Caribbean, it doesn't matter. I still welcome you all. So, my kings and queen, I am here today with, as you know, the topic, the Europeans, Arabs, Indians, Polynesian, Asian, whatever you may call it, they're not from us. Simple common sense tells you that the things that I share here is simple common sense. And as we know, common sense ain't common anymore. So now everyone is running around thinking without common sense, thinking without observation of the universe around us, thinking and acting without consulting with our ancestors, who is our direct connection with the creative force, which is us, which we are the manifestation of. Welcome all. Thank you for joining. And we're in for an interesting topic. And today's topic is one of those that you will not find physical evidence of, because whatever physical evidence, whatever physical facts, whatever physical proof, whatever physical research, whatever you may find out there physically, regardless of how old it is still controlled, still manipulated, still twisted by those who oppress us, those who have colonized us, those who did not come from us, by the Arab, the European, the Asians, the Indians, the Polynesians. It is owned, controlled by them. The real facts and truth and evidence that will prove what I am saying to be true is locked in a vault somewhere remote that none of us know where it is at this time. But that still don't stop us from using our divine high frequency 9 ether being thinking to decipher what is hidden from us. So I don't rely heavily on what we can find. I do use what we can find to support it. But anything that you can find out there can be other things found that also disprove it. So I rely on nothing that is flawed. The only thing that is not flawed is my spirit, my soul, my 9 ether being self that is connected to the highest of highest frequency, the creative force that is the creator, Sanini Nanini, who manifested himself physically in us, in who we are. So if your evidence has to be physical, move along. If your evidence is spiritual, then stick around. Because if you can't trust your spirit, which is your ancestor's spirit, which is the spirit of the creator that manifests here physically, then you are still very much deeply asleep. So with that said, let's begin. Now, I am sick and tired. I am irate. There is not words in this cursed English language that explains my feeling about my 9 ether beings, brothers and sisters, still holding on to one of the biggest lies that started our slavery, our oppression, and our downfall, that all these nations came from us. We are their predecessors, we are their ancestors, they are from us, and we created them. Well, stick a pin on the create, because we might have done that. They did not come from us. They shared nothing of us in earlier days. The only time they shared of us was during our colonization, when they interbreed with us via raping our women or copulating with our men. Outside of that, prior to that, there was no interbreeding, there was no mixing. They come from us. We are not their forefathers. They have a completely different DNA from us, and even they themselves prove that. The only thing they did. Now, let me back up a bit, because when they give us lies, they have to mix in a little truth in it for us to accept it. After all, we're suffering from Stockholm syndrome, just like any victim that was locked in a basement for years. And when they're released, they're still in love with their captor. That is us. And 90% of us have not awoken and risen above that mental illness just yet, which is why what I'm saying is going to be impossible for most of us to even process through our ear canal to our brain. So with that said, they mix in truth with the lies, so that the lies seem acceptable, seem factual, seems correct. And because we think so highly about our awakening, we can't believe for a simple second that we can still be fooled. But the things that spur out of our mouth prove that we are much a fool today in this awakening, as we were when we were first colonized. Once you're saying that they come from us, that's proof enough to know that you are nowhere awake as you ought to be. So, in genetical research, it's a science field of itself. It will basically, if you do a DNA through any one of those DNA company to trace your genealogy, of course, we can't trust these things, but there is some truth in the lies that they do use these companies to tell. You're going to find that most of us is going to trace our history back to so-called Africa. Of course, we're going to have those Americans that are going to say, no, we've been here in America, yada, yada, yada. That's not the topic. I'm not talking about that. Let's just look at their so-called facts. They're going to say we come from Africa. Then you're going to see, like, for the Arab, the Europeans, the Asians, the Indians, and all those other groups, you're going to see that their DNA is going to origin in other parts of the earth, like Europe, Asia, Middle East, all of that. The Americas, for the so-called native Indians, of course, they are descendants of a European subgroup that cross over to the Americas. And prior to that, of course, you have us, the 9 ether being that was here, that was most likely died out, slaughtered out, and then they start bringing Africans here, which is why it's so stupid when we say that we come from America. We didn't come from America. We came from Africa. So you can keep denying yourself, but we originate from Africa. And even if you are a descendant of the carbonated beings that was here prior to the Indian crossing over, those carbonated beings that were here originated from Africa. So what came first, the chicken or the egg? So they will tell you that all these other nations originate from Africa. The DNA got mutated after the out of Africa migration, and then there was some back migration back to Africa and yada, 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 whatever, liars. That's a lie. The mutation that happened in DNA and genes came from within themselves. They did not originate from us. They did not originate from Africa. They did not originate from the 9 ether carbon beings that we are. They do intermingle with us in late times, but prior to their colonization, we would never dare meet with the likes of them, who they originate from, what they are. We watch these movies, we see vampire, we see all different type of beings and stuff, but we think it's all fun and game and it's just an imagination. But they're telling the truth of who they are. We hear the evolution story. We believed it at some point. Scientists believe it, that man evolved and let this universe started from a big bang. No, their existence start from a big bang. They evolved from the ape, from the dog, from the pig, from all different low-level beasts that is on the earth, with other demonic beings that came and meet with them. That's where they evolved from. You and me, we are original. We have no beginning of time. We have no ending of time. We are one and in harmony with the universe. We have Ubuntu. We have flourishing civilization because our knowledge was at its highest prior to their existence. We have devolved while they evolve physically. We devolve mentally and spiritually. And now that we've reached the nexus of the awakening, we are starting to climb the frequency level to where we were before 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. Could be longer than that they've been around, but the Bible story tells you that the earth or creation was 6,000 years old. That's not a lie, but it's their creation, not ours. We are endless, we are timeless, and we never meet or mingle with beasts of the field or any other entity that would have been around. Now, did some of us get naughty and did something to create them? Yes, we may have. We can rule it out. We can't be blameless in all of this, but they don't share our DNA. We have a completely unique DNA that never changes, that stays the same throughout all time up to this very day, even though they have raped and plundered us during slavery. Our DNA stands resolute because it is the creator gene. So it cannot be destroyed. It cannot be changed. It cannot be altered. It is what it is, and it will stay that way forever. However, theirs originate from dog, apes, pigs. Theirs originate from the mixing of different beasts of the field DNA with other entities from the spiritual realm that manifests itself here, low-level entities that manifests itself here and interbreed with these beasts of the field and bring forth what they are, their forefathers, Neanderthal. And then the Neanderthal continue doing their experiments, and then we have the Arabs, the Europeans, the Asians, and the Indians and the Polynesians. All of their DNA are different to us. It's not the same. And then, even though they existed, because we're so harmonious, because we're so peaceful and loving and accepting, we were okay existing alongside them when they came into being about 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. We didn't have a problem with it. There's so much to share. We're not hoarders. We are people who live in harmony and share, and we have a flourishing civilization. We never thought that they could overthrow us, right? We thought, hey, just another species. So, hey, what? Let's just live up, let's accept them. But we never intermingled with them. We never mixed because we of a unique, we know that we are a high thinking being, so we will never sleep with a dog, we'll never sleep with a cat, we'll never sleep with a ape. So why would we sleep with these mankind that spring up from nowhere? We wouldn't do that. But they wanted to be us. They wanted to be the people of the sun. And so their envy, their jealousy, their rage, their hate, their inhumane, soulless self decided to destroy everything we've built, everything that we are, and take over. If they can't have it, if they don't belong here, then we can't have it. And that's what they did. And they're not stupid. They may be low-level thinking being, but their savagery, their evil thinking does make them think and act smart, because we accepted them, we taught them our ways. So they know how to manipulate us. So they took our children, they killed the elders slowly and gradually without us even realizing. And even when we do realize it, we thought, hey, everyone and everything is redeemable. So it kept happening for thousands of years. And now we are in the states where we accept the nonsense they tell us, just like the earth is round. Try and tell that to 99% of us, and we will be laughed at. So we accept that they came from us, that it was through this so-called African migration into, first of all, we ain't leaving no Africa where it is warm, where all the four seasons exist, and we're not going to leave there where everything's flourishing and go in some remote part of the earth that is cold, that is dark, that food doesn't grow. No, we didn't leave Africa. We didn't leave the part of the land that was smack right through the middle of the equator, where everything is, where minerals and wealth and everything you can think of exists. We stay where all of the earth's richest blessings are. They crawl from out of some cave in some dark corner, from deep in wherever they came from, where they had little to nothing, where they had to fight to survive while we flourish. And they came among us and saw what was heaven, the Garden of Eden. They saw it, they envied it, and they wanted it. And they devised a plan to do it and destroy us and turn us into captives. And then they started intermingling with us once they take control, because then we had no choice but to meet with them when they come at us. And they flipped the script, saying that women submit to men, women beneath men, men is the leader, all these stuff. And they make sure we think about that in a negative way and counterproductive way, because they know that once we are of equal and equity among our male and female, then we're a force to be reckoned with. They destroy the very fabric of our family. And they make sure that we only learn the bits of truth filled with lies that they want us to learn, just to keep us dormant, to keep us fooled. And to this very day, even with this awakening, I'm ashamed to say that we still believe that nonsense. You all need to go meditate. You all need to go on a cleanse, flush your body, consume nothing but water and melon juice and cucumber juice, and lock yourself away from all devices, everything technological. Go in the forest if you can, the mountains, go by the lake, right? Take physical books with you if you need something to occupy your time. Book of substance, read, meditate, think, reflect, use your imagination, and connect to the source and get out of this nonsense about them coming from us. They come nothing from us. Did a dog come from us? Did rat come from us? Did anything, any species on this earth come from us? So how could a mankind come from us, the original 9 ether being? Why do we have 9 strand DNA while they have 6, which is just one more than an ape? And that goes for the Asian. They have 6-strand DNA. The Europeans, 6-strand DNA. The Arabs, 6-strand DNA. The Indians, 6-strand DNA. Native Americans, 6-strand DNA. The Polynesians, 6-strand DNA. Any of them you can name that I haven't mentioned, 6-strand DNA. But we, 9-strand, we're a whole 3-strand more than them. 9, which is complete. 9, which is a circle, infinity. But there's 6, which is an upside down 9, which basically symbolizes lower level being. And that's just one more than an ape. The ape, the chimpanzee, and all orangutan, all of those are the highest level animal on the face of this earth. And why does 80% of their DNA, up to 80% for some of them, is exactly like the animal? That's because their forefather, the Neanderthal, is a hybrid of the animal and something else sinister, something else so dark, so evil, that when it manifests itself here, it has no higher thinking than to go and connect something of equal frequency to itself, like the animals that we live among, that balance our ecosystem. Don't forget, we are the universe. We are the creator manifested. There is not a creator that just sits somewhere in a wholesome self. He exists here with us. We are the creator manifested. And he is asking us to open up ourselves so he can flood us with the truth, with the light, so we can know ourselves, so that we can restore ourselves, and we can put off all this low frequency thinking and believing and accepting and dwelling and doing these disgusting things that we've come to know and accept and believe and advocate for. The nastiness that we do just because we think that everyone is just like us. If they were, why aren't you being treated equally? What do they know that you don't? Shake up your fallow grounds and stop the nonsense. And stop search for truth in this earth, in this physical earth, in books, on the internet, and everywhere. Anything you find that is remotely true should be a stepping stone. It is not truth. It's a guide. It's a spark that lights you. And just remember, every single one of us has a bit of truth in us. The truth is not lost. It's fragmented. But until we come together and put all the pieces of the puzzle together, then we cannot be restored. And the minute we think we know all the truth, it's a minute we know no truth. Thank you for joining. I hope what I said sparked something in you, and you can go out there, connect with the universe and the creator, your ancestor, your carbon energy, and find truth. Love you all.